Get your word, get your word, get your word, get your word. Let's go to Numbers. Let's go to Numbers chapter 10, verses 28 through 32. Numbers 10, 28 through 32 reads as follows. Thus were the journeyings of the children of Israel according to their armies when they set forward. And Moses said unto Hobab, the son of Raguel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are journeying into the place which the Lord said, I will give it you. I will give it you. Come thou with us, and we will do good, or we will do thee good, rather. For the Lord has spoken good concerning Israel. Verse 30 says, and he said unto him, I will not go, but I will depart to mine own land, and to my kindred. And he said, leave us not, I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness. I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness. One more time. For as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness. And thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. And it shall be, if thou go with us, yea, it shall be that what goodness the Lord shall do unto us, the same will we do unto thee.
Hallelujah.
Further on it goes, and so they departed. Your message entitlement for this morning: how to make great observations. How to make great observations. Take your seats. How to make great observations. The purpose of observation is to obtain information, to reach a solution. Whenever you observe something, you're looking to obtain something, information about something, because you're looking for a solution. If you go to an airport or you go to any place of travel, you're looking for your gate, because your gate tells you where your transport is going to be. Does that make sense to anybody? So I'm looking for my gate because I'm looking for my transport, and my transport is going to take me to my destination. Does that make sense? So I have to make observations, because whether I have been in this particular terminal or this particular station or not, there are certain things that will light up, or I can ask questions, or I can go to somebody and ask, hey, where do I find this particular gate? Because I need to depart from this place to go to another place. That makes sense to anybody? I need to depart from this place. I just want to talk to a few people that there's some places that God has promised you, but you're not there yet. Amen? There's some places that God has promised you, but you're not there yet. Now, we're in a circumstance in the scripture where they have been freed from bondage. And again, I like to talk to a church who's been freed from bondage, because all of us ain't trapped up in chains. All of us ain't still dealing with the stuff that we've been dealing with, amen. Now, there's some of us that are, but I'm talking to the folks that's mature enough, or they have God blessed, they like to say, I'm free from some stuff. I may have a few things lagging, but I'm free from some stuff. Can anybody open up their mouth in this place and say, I'm free from some stuff? I'm free from some stuff. But even when I get free from some things, there's still some places that God has to bring me to. I can be free from a thing and still not be in the promised place, because they're free from being shackled, but they're still not in the promised place. I want to talk to a few people that can say, I've been free from some stuff, but I'm still not in the promised place. I'm giving you glory, God, because you freed me from some bondage, some things that have been holding me for a long time, but I'm still not in that place of promise. Am I talking to anybody this morning? So promise, the purpose of observation is to obtain information observation to reach a solution. And observation requires, and it's quite obvious, observation requires recognition, does it not? So that means that not only do I have to see, because this goes beyond sight. I don't want you to hear this as a sight-driven message. This has to be an observation message, which means that you have to actually study some things. Does that make sense? You can't just go with what you see. You have to go beyond what you see. Sometimes we got to get down to the microscopic level to find out what's really happening. Does that make sense? When you make observations in science, you get out instruments. Am I talking to anybody? So sometimes what I'm trying to get you to look in here is I need you to get out the instrument called your Bible. So you get out this instrument so God can open up our eyes to see things through a lens that we did not consider before.
Amen. Come on now. Right. Come on.
You with me so far? So we must recognize that recruiting is an essential component in any venture. Recruiting is an essential component in any venture. Moses solicits the help of his brother-in-law. Right? Yeah. Now, Raguel, who y'all hear, that's Jephthah, in case you didn't know. Same person. So he solicits the help of his brother-in-law. And what we need to understand is recruiting is an effort to collectively achieve a goal. Let me say that one more time. Recruiting is an effort to collectively achieve a goal. Anybody heard anything about college football? Because that's where you will hear recruiting more than anything else, right? They will hire certain coaches because they're good at recruiting. Not because their X's and O's are good, but because they can recruit well. Let me say that one more time. It's not because of their game strategy. It's because they can recruit well. So people make money because they're able to recruit well. Am I talking to the church here? So I want to talk to you because sometimes we got to understand that we've got to be great recruiters in the kingdom. Does it make sense? Our commission is to actually go out and recruit people to be in the kingdom. So you should be a recruiter by your very nature. Your reborn nature, that is. And so what happens is once we're reborn, we still need to recruit. Does that make sense? And sometimes we got to recruit from within the kingdom. Yes, we're trying to add more people to the kingdom, but sometimes we got to, more often than we give credence to, we've got to recruit from within the kingdom. Does that make sense? So we've got to recruit within the kingdom. And Moses is finding himself in need of something, and so he goes recruiting. And if we know anything about these coaches that go recruiting, they will start a lot of times right in their own backyard.
Come on now.
There are resources that are untapped because we're too prideful to ask for help.
Come on now. Come on.
You don't know that every person that you're sitting next to is a potential enterprise. Every person that you're sitting next to is a potential enterprise. There's a business, there's an idea, there's something within that person. And sometimes if you would just ask the question, you would have the thing that you didn't know how to get. You knew that you needed it, but you didn't know how to obtain it.
Come on.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this isn't a message for prideful people. This isn't a message for people who want to be by themselves.
Wow.
If you are a seclusionist, this message is not going to work very well for you because you're going to have to reach out and touch somebody. Hello. And so it starts in our own backyard. Understand, recruiting does not diminish self-worth. So when I start recruiting, that doesn't mean that there's less of me. That doesn't mean that I'm not worth anything. That doesn't mean that I have to have every talent. Because see, there's a misnomer. You think that the fivefold is going to be wrapped up in you, and that's wrong, baby doll. Sir, ma'am, that's wrong. It's not going to be wrapped up in you. You are not going to have all the gifts. I'm here to tell you.
Come on.
So you're going to, and even if you think you got all the gifts, Lord helping the people, but even if you think you got all the gifts, you still going to need somebody else with a gift to see things that you just don't see. I'm trying to tell you how to make great observations. You hear what I'm telling you? And so it does not negate our responsibility. So we've got to understand that just because we go recruiting, the coach goes recruiting, right? And so the coach goes out recruiting for certain positions. Like, you hear me? So he says, I need a tight end, I need a left tackle, I need a right tackle, I need a nickel, I need a quarterback, I need a running back, I need a wide receiver. He's got to go out and recruit all these positions so that his team can put forth an effort to compete on the field. Does that make sense? And based on how he recruits is how good his team is going to be. They even do reports now on the recruiting thing. They say, oh, they got the top recruiting class. This is before they, am I right about it? They say they got the top recruiting class. man, I'll tell you some secular stuff will teach you a lot if you just open your eyes. But they want to have a high recruiting class before they ever put one cleat on the field. Why? Because they say, if I've got a high recruiting class, then that means that I have a greater chance of winning. Does anybody in this place want a better chance of winning? Hallelujah. See, the thing about it is, we say that we already have the victory, and we know that we already have the victory, but just because you know you already have the victory does not mean, ladies and gentlemen, that you can sit on your blessed assurance. Because there are sometimes when God will say, you ain't got to fight this battle, but sometimes God will be like, pick up your sword and do something. Does that make sense? So this is one of the things where God is saying, okay, I freed you from bondage. But when he freed them from bondage, Moses wasn't standing there, stagnant with his staff and saying, God do it, God do it. No, God said, lay that thing there. Okay, lay that down and turn it to a circle. I got to pick it back up. You understand? I had to do something with what he gave me. Let me say that one more time. I had to do something with what he gave me.
All right.
So he gave you a staff, then work with your
Staff.
Okay. I just want to make sure that y'all was all the way in the message. Y'all good so far? So it does not do this thing. On another note, proper observation accompanies participation. It's not passive. So you're just not look. Some people took the term supervisor to a whole nother level. Okay, just because you're a supervisor does not mean that all you do is supervise. That means that you just see. I just see. You ain't gonna do nothing? No, I just see. You ain't gonna do nothing else? No, I just see.
Come on. Jesus. Not it. Come on.
You cannot be a non-participant supervisor. Not in the kingdom you can't be. You understand what I'm saying? You can't be one of the people, you know what I'm saying? You can't have the supervisor stance down. Y'all know there's two supervisor stances. This is a side note, but I'm going to get back on topic, I promise you. There's two supervisor stances. This one and this one. And that's how some of us look spiritually.
Help us, Lord.
What you doing? What you doing? Oh, I'm the overseer. Come on. I'm the overseer. Just come on, move around, do something. I know this much. Y'all better get to moving. What's wrong with you? I mean, since you want to flex and everything, it look like you're kind of strong since you're there flexing. Why don't you open up your arms and actually do? You know, see what I'm saying? Amen. The Lord ain't looking for supervisors. He's looking for shepherds. Does that make sense? What I'm telling you, shepherd will pick up the lamb and carry that joker with him. He won't be like, hey, the rest of y'all lambs. No, that's my job.
Yes, amen.
Oh, this one out there left. Hey, look, I'm gonna go and find that one. That's what's up. You understand what I'm saying? And you have to be a shepherd in some regard. If you have a household, you have to be a shepherd in some regard. Hello, somebody. Somebody like, I ain't no pastor. I ain't called to be no pastor. Nobody said that you was called to be a pastor as in fivefold pastor, but you got to be a leader in your own household. You got to be a leader in your life. Hello, somebody. And this message is for everybody. This message is saying you need to learn how to be a great recruiter. You got to recognize that it's an essential component. In any venture, whatever you're trying to step out and do, you're going to need some help. Yes. There is nothing in this life that you learn on your own. Not one thing, not the language you speak, not the way that you walk.
Come on, Pastor.
You understand what I'm saying? The only part of the reason why you start walking because you saw other people do it. Because if you would have saw everybody crawling, you would have never even tried to walk.
Come on now, come on.
I got to do this on my own. Let me get off that because I don't even want to get stuck down that bad. I got to do this all by myself. Ain't nobody here but me.
Lord Jesus.
You there in your cave.
All right.
While it's like 7,000 people over there like, no, we worship God too. And if you would just come and talk to us and start being secluded, then you could have some help in here.
Yes, sir.
So our proper observation accompanies participation is not passive. It expedites the effort. Do you understand that? It expedites the effort. Another thing to do that we need to do is realize that rapport grants insider access. Rapport grants insider access. The scripture says, and Moses said unto Hobab. Now look here, I almost danced in my own seat when I got this one because it might seem menial to somebody, but this is what God gave me right here. Ladies and gentlemen, do not underestimate the value of speaking terms.
Come on now. Praise God.
Do not underestimate the value of speaking terms. Moses said unto Hobab, I know some of us went right over that scripture. He just said to him, know the fact that they were on speaking terms because you know you got some of your in-laws that you cannot speak to. Hello, somebody. You got some so-called friends that you cannot speak to. Hello, somebody. You can't even talk to some of the church folk you know.
Come on.
So do not underestimate speaking terms. If you are on speaking terms, that means that you and I can have a conversation. And because you and I can have a conversation, I can ask some things from you and you can ask some things from me.
Come on now.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Does that make sense? So say, I need to be on speaking terms. I need to be on speaking terms. I need to be on speaking terms with some people because if we can't talk, then how are we gonna ever benefit each other? How are we gonna grow together? Because there's some things that you have that are on the inside of you that I need for my life. And it's vice versa. Does that make sense? It's mutual. Say it's mutual. It's mutual. I need some things from you. You need some things from me. Does that make sense? And that doesn't insert usury into it. It should be mutually beneficial.
Come on.
Does that make sense? I got to realize that rapport grants insider access. Cooperation requires counterparts, conversation, and commodities. Let me say that one more time. Cooperation requires counterparts, conversation, and commodities. So anytime I'm trying to cooperate with somebody, anytime I'm having a conversation with somebody, first to have a conversation, I know it's very simple, but whatever. So I know it's very simple, but to have a conversation with somebody, I need a counterpart. Now I'm not talking about the people who talk to themselves. I do it sometimes, but we ain't talking about that. No judgment, I do too. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you actually need a counterpart to have a conversation with. Does that make sense? So my counterpart, being that I have a counterpart, now I can have a conversation. Once I start having a conversation, I'm having, and I don't want you to look at this for usury's sake, but get it from what I'm trying to give to you. That when I'm having a conversation, I'm having a conversation with a commodity. Oh my God. I'm having a conversation with a commodity. I'm talking to somebody that has something on the inside of them. Does that make sense to you? So I'm having a conversation with a commodity. Again, it's not for the sake of usage, but a usury, but it's for the sake of understanding that I'm talking to somebody who has value.
Come on.
Does that make sense? Everybody that you decide to have a conversation, there should be some value that you get out of that conversation. If it's a good laugh, that was valuable because laughter is an important thing in life. So if you know you can, sometimes people just let you talk because they know they're going to get a good laugh, right? That's a valuable thing. Some people just talk to you why? Because it's like, at some point they're going to give me some kind of wisdom. You talk to Bishop long enough, he's going to give you some crazy thing and you're like, man, that's a lot of wisdom in that, right? So I have conversations because I understand I'm going to glean wisdom from him. Does that make sense? So I'm speaking with a commodity. So I don't ever want, it doesn't matter. If you're talking to a baby, you are speaking to a commodity.
Come on.
Because that child has more value than you can even imagine.
Amen.
Does that make sense? Again, if we would teach those underneath us, then they can care for us when we can't care for ourselves. But because we never speak to them, they don't ever care for us. People be wondering why they left and everything like that. Why don't my children? Did you ever speak to your children? Did you ever pour anything into them? Did you ever really care for them? Or did you always run them off to the babysitter? See what I'm saying? So it's like, did you ever pour anything into your child?
Your child.
Put any time in? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know they can get tested and trying. Trust me, I got a scream on my hands. Just like a scream. I get it. Sometimes you be like, go on now, go to your grandma's house. Go on. Right? Oh, that's just me. Never mind. So I get it. But understand that person still has value. It makes sense. That makes sense. Like my son doesn't have full conversations yet, but he brings value to my life because I'm steadily trying to speak to him. One, so he learns how to speak. Two, he knows, well, one, he knows my voice. Two, he learns how to speak. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And even though he may not remember these conversations, he will remember some conversations.
Yes, will. Yes, will.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So cooperation requires counterparts, conversation, and commodities. In this scenario, the sought commodities are guidance and experience. So Moses is looking for guidance and experience. I think sometimes when we look at the Bible, we get so overly spiritual that we miss practical stuff.
Come on, Pastor. Say that again, please.
Oh, this is not a Holy Ghost. That's not what it is. That's not what this is. This is a Holy Ghost. This is not what that is. This is saying that God is showing us some things.
Yeah.
Some practical things that we can use in our everyday life. Yes, there are some spiritual things that we need to understand so we can operate in the kingdom. But hello, somebody, when you leave this church, you ain't operating in the kingdom, you operating for the kingdom. And you better understand the difference. You're not operating in the kingdom, you're operating for the kingdom. And so there's some things that we need to learn how to do while we're operating for the kingdom. Does that make sense? When you go to your 9-to-5 job, guess what you're doing? You're operating for the kingdom because you're rendering your service as you're rendering it to God. So you're a representative of the kingdom right where you are. And there's some practical stuff that you need because guess what? You need a recruit even on your job.
Come on.
And it's right here. It's right here. And again, sometimes we be looking so far. We always want to go to somebody else. We'll see somebody else's family and we'll adore their family. Y'all family they family broke just like yours is. They family got people that don't speak to each other just like yours. They got some nasty folks in their family just like you got nasty folks in your family. Everybody got that one auntie that's good to everybody, and everybody got that one auntie that's good to nobody. You understand what I'm telling you? And you know who they are. And you can even learn to know what we call awfuls, because at least you can learn what not to do. Hello, somebody.
Right.
Y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right, I hope this is blessing somebody. We must also recognize that relationships are living repositories. Relationships are living repositories, all right? So what do we do with these relationships? We got to classify and allocate. Y'all hear me? We got to classify and allocate. I need to classify what kind of relationship this is. And I need to allocate certain responsibilities or certain expectations based on the relationship that I have. Now, don't put somebody don't fill somebody or let yourself get filled with false expectation because you put somebody in the wrong position. I would not dare put a quarterback in a linebacker's position because most likely he's too small. He is not meant to block, he is meant to throw or run. Does that make sense? And so now you got somebody who's meant to block trying to throw or run, and you wonder why you can't ever get past anything. Never mind. You got him in the wrong position.
Thank you.
You didn't know what you were recruiting. Hello? But you got to recognize that there are repositories. We got to classify and allocate. Find out who has experience in the present landscape. Y'all got to hear me by the Spirit. Find out who has experience in the present landscape. Here we are, right? So Moses, who's been through the wilderness, by the way, twice. Because he left Egypt, joined the Midian, and went back from Midian. Right back in. So he's been through the wilderness before. He's been to the wilderness twice. Say he's been there. But he's still looking for guidance. Let me say it one more time. Say he's been there. But he's still looking for guidance. One more time. Say he's been there. But he's still looking for guidance. I've been here before. And see what happens sometimes because we'll look at somebody who's got a little salt and pepper on their head and say, you don't know nothing about what I'm going through. Man, I done seen it before. Now, if I hear in Bishop my phone, I better pray over it because it's probably about to get broke. I know you don't pray over inanimate objects, folks. I know this. It's a joke. Anyway. But if you give him that thing, if I give him any technology, you give him a laptop, he gonna take them big old hands. That's all you gonna hear is grunt. All you gonna hear is caveman stuff. That's not his deal. So why would I get frustrated with Bishop if I'm trying to hand him something that's not in his ballpark? Bishop, you ought to understand how to work this. I've shown you how to work it. It's not what I do.
That's right.
But now ask somebody to do your job for you now. Right? Because I know that you see his skin is brownish, what we call black African American, but his thumbs are really green. You understand what I'm telling you? He do stuff to plants that I don't understand. I don't understand why he's growing like that. I got the same ones, but I don't grow like that. I don't get it, what you're doing. But you see what I'm saying? But he has expertise in a realm, right? So there's some people that already understand what landscape you're in, and you're looking at their age and saying that they can't tell me how to operate where I'm at. Because one, I've been here before. And who are they to tell me about a place I've already been? But see, what happens is sometimes we try to put people in the wrong spot. I'm not going to ask him to fix anything. That's foolish to me. That's foolish to me. But I might ask somebody like Isaiah who knows a little bit. Hey, you know what? Have you ever seen this yet? Actually, I've done it before. Let me show you how to do it. Now, I know how to do certain things in certain technology. Me and him actually work in the technology field, but he works on another side of technology. Does that make sense? I do like routers and switches. He does like servers and stuff and coding because, you know what I'm saying, he's Neo and whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, he sees the code. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all see all these colors. He don't see them but black and green. Just black and green. But I'm saying, so while, even though I have a certain level of intelligence, I have a certain level of experience, there's somebody that I'm connected to. If I would just open up my mouth, there's somebody that I'm connected to right in my backyard that can tell me how to do something that I haven't done before. Because see, what happened is that Moses has been through the wilderness. He's never lived there.
Okay. Come on now. Come on.
Because the first time he left Egypt, it was a flight. Now, he might have slept a couple days, but he wasn't trying to say that. He was trying to get away from Pharaoh. You understand what I'm telling you? So he flew, matter of fact, that's what they call it. They say his flight out of Egypt. So when you take a flight out of somewhere, you move at an exponential rate, right? Right? When you drive somewhere, that's one rate. But when you fly to somewhere, you get a whole lot quicker, don't you understand? So he did not drive there. He flew out. Do you understand what I'm telling you? I know they didn't have no planes. Y'all stick with me now. But he flew out. He took a flight. And then the next time that he went through, he was under commandment from God. So he wasn't sitting there trying to figure out how to live in the wilderness. He said, however, and that's what the text says, I ain't got to make it up. He said, you know how to encamp here. I've been through this, but I've never lived here. And some of us are struggling in the places that we live because we won't ask somebody else who's already lived there.
Come on now. Come on.
I've been through it, but you didn't live there.
Thank you. Thank you.
You didn't know how to set up a tent.
Thank you.
You didn't know how to stay there. Last time you went, you was by yourself. This time you got a nation with you. It's a whole different thing than when you're going through something that God has you going through and the thing that God has you leading.
Wow. Yeah.
Because sometimes God will pull you out of a situation into another situation to build you up so he can send you back to the situation so you can bring everybody back with you. Does that make sense? Say everybody.
Everybody.
What you weren't prepared for everybody. You didn't know how to move everybody. You just knew how to get back and forth. It's not that Moses had not encountered a wilderness before. It's just that he hadn't encountered a wilderness with this many people.
Okay now.
And he had never had to encamp there. Wow. What's the text say? Text says that for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness, I'm recruiting you because I know you know how to encamp where we are. There's some promises that God has for you, but you've got to live in the place that you are.
Come on now. Come on.
Never mind. I didn't talk to church this morning. I said there's a promise that God has for you, but you've got to live in the present place that you are.
Come on.
And some of us are struggling because we think that we've been in a place of struggle before, but you didn't have to live there.
Wow, come on, come on.
You think because you had to be through some patient moments, you never had to live in patience.
Come on, Pastor, come on.
Some of us have just been impatient.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
But we didn't have to live there. We didn't have to live with the weight. We didn't have to anybody have to live in the weight.
Yes.
Live in the weight.
Yes.
And the weight of it is I'm still waiting, God. No, you're gonna have to live here for a couple years. You're gonna have to live here for a few seasons. You're gonna have to live here for a few moments. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Amen.
I hope I'm talking to somebody.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Who has experience in the present landscape? Good looking out is absolutely critical. We say in the past, no, good looking out. No, that's critical. Don't you just throw that out. When you ask something good looking out, it better be somebody that's actually looking out for you.
Amen.
Does that make sense? I'm not talking about the cover of your mess neither.
No.
Get this. So always value relationships that are mutually beneficial. Always value relationships that are mutually beneficial. Now, again, you should appreciate everybody, understand, but you got to understand that there are some relationships that you have to do because of where you work, right? I got to have a relationship with certain people I work with because I work there. And that's what that relationship is. When we clock out, we clock out. Hello, somebody. Right? We clock out. But there are some people that you have relationships and they're intentional relationships. So I'm talking about intentional relationships, the ones that you make. I told somebody, I've had a relationship, one of my good friends, I had a conversation with him. I said, I see you as somebody who I really want to be friends with, but we need to have a conversation. I said, because I don't call everybody my friend.
Come on.
So I need you to understand the type of parameters that I'm putting on you. Now, if you can accept these parameters, we can be friends. If you cannot accept, and I'm telling you, this is somewhere around what I told him. If we cannot have this understanding, we can't be this kind of friend.
Come on now.
Because I'm laying it all out on the line. This is what, when I say friend, this is what I do.
All right.
I don't want you to have no misunderstanding.
There you go.
We did music, you need equipment. I didn't have the talent to play the thing. You do. So since you have the talent to play it, you need something, I'll get it for you.
Come on now, come on.
Right? We doing music together, not me come over to you, your stuff, and just drain everything out of you. Because sometimes people will find your commodity but want to drain you of it and give you nothing in return. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to understand that their commodity, sometimes because, okay, I don't have a commodity that may match. You understand what I'm saying? If we both play the instruments, then maybe he can play the keyboard and I can play the drum or something like that. But since I didn't have any of those things, what can I do? Okay, well, you need something to eat, I can buy you food. Right? If you need equipment, the same equipment that I want to use, right? Because I want you to have the most up-to-date stuff because I want to sound fire like Dialogue on the track, you know what I mean? So if I want to sound good on the track, and you need something, I can't be like, well, go get it so I can get on it. And isn't that how some people treat you? It's like, I know you got all the talent, so I want you to go purchase everything, and then I want to use you up, and we're going to be good friends.
All right.
What? Exactly, that's usury. And that's how we treat some people in the kingdom. You won't pastor the priest now, but you can't even pat him on the back. No, I ain't talking about me now. I'm good with y'all. Y'all good. But I just want you to pass the priest. No, man. Okay, somebody come to your house and come pray for you, whatever have you. Then all you can do is talk behind their back. They don't really love me like they say they do. They drove all the way over there to see your raggedy behind. You better come on straight now, church. Messed up as you made them out to be.
Amen. Come on.
It's stop asking people to care for you when you hiding in a cave. First of all, nobody knows that you're there.
Come on.
They ought to feel me in the spirit. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Whatever. But here's the thing is that, again, when you're having conversations with commodities, and you got to realize that, okay, maybe I can't match, maybe I'm not a musical person, or that's not where my talent lays, but there's something that I can do. I can give them something to eat, I can give them some equipment. There's something that I can do so that there's never any usury in a relationship. Does that make sense? Say, there's something I can do. Does that make sense?
Yes.
One of my things that I did as a leader when I was in the Marine Corps, one of the things that I do is that I understood that all my troops work for me. Now, I knew how to do all my gear and I was really good at it, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I want to get at. But the thing was, it's like, whenever, I can't increase your pay because that's above my pay grade. Now I know you guys work very hard, but I have nothing to do besides, giving you little pointers on your promotion, but I don't even really figure that out. That's somebody else that gives that to you. Yeah. So besides helping you out with little stuff that could get you a promotion, there's very little that I can do for you personally. But one of the things that I can do is I can let you, I can let you off for a couple hours. Sometimes I can get you off for a whole day and it not really count against you. I can do that for you. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't get in trouble, I can let you have some breathing room. And if anybody knows anything about being in the military, a day off is worth its weight in gold. Amen. And so I can't do anything for you. I can't do much for you, but I can give you the day off. Man, I can tell them jokers to do anything. You hear me? And what did they do in return? There was nothing. They certainly couldn't raise my pay. They couldn't give me a day off, but what could they do? Hey, whatever it is that you ask, I'll do it.
Come on.
I'll never give you I would have some rebellious cats be like, look, y'all better be glad there's some Polk here, because the P1 here. You see what I'm saying? But it was an understanding. There's something that I can do for you. There's something that we can do for each other. And it doesn't always have to be about usury, but understand that we're both commodities.
Yes. All right. Amen.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm not using you because I know what you're good for. Does that make sense? You know what I'm good for. I hope that you would tap into me too. Say there's some help. Right in my backyard. But you can't be prideful and not ask. That's right. Amen. And you can't be selfish and be the only one that's gleaning commodities. Does that make sense? Because that's not what Moses does. He said, no. I know that you know how to encamp in the wilderness, and we need your eyes. We need your eyes. Talk to your neighbor, say, I need your eyes.
I need your eyes.
You don't even understand. I know there's a whole lot you can see. You so deep. You so deep. I know there's a whole lot that you can see in the spirit realm, but you need somebody else to help you see.
That's right. Amen. Wow. Amen.
You need somebody else, because somebody else has a better perspective, has another perspective than you.
Come on.
Does that make sense? Because sometimes we start competing. No, they got better. No, they just have another. Amen. Because even your peripheral, you have to look a different way for your peripheral. If you look through your peripheral, you lose focus on what's in the middle.
That's right.
So really, your range of vision is really about 90 degrees.
Wow.
Does it make sense? Let's not even get into if you're near side or far side or none of that stuff. But you got about 90 degrees, right? So there's somebody that's standing at a slight angle that can see a whole nother 90 degrees. Huh? So there's a whole nother thing of your idea that you can't even see. There's a part of your picture that you can't even see, and if you will stop being so stubborn, you can just say, hey, I need your eyes. I've been through a wilderness before. I done tried to do businesses before, but I ain't never been in nothing like this.
All right.
And he says, and it shall be, if thou go with us, if you go with us, it shall be that what goodness of the Lord shall do unto us the same will we do unto thee. So we're not just going to be benefiting off of you helping us. We're also going to help you. Whatever the God bless us with, we're going to bless you with. I wonder how many people are getting in business to bless others. See, we want to get in business. We want to be entrepreneurs because we really want to bless ourselves. I wonder how many people are getting in businesses and say, I want to bless other people. Yes, I'm going to take some of the... Yes. It's okay. Yeah, I want to live good. Who in here don't want to live good? If you don't want to live good, I think you're in the wrong place because I'm trying to get you to live good. You understand what I'm telling you? But who in here want to live good? So I want to live good. You understand? I want to live good. But I want to live so good that I can have some other people living good off me. You understand what I'm telling you?
Yes, sir. Come on. Amen. Come on.
I want to have an opportunity to be like, boom, you take care. You take. I almost be like Oprah, like you got this, you got that. I be crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you were so blessed to where you could give. But some of us are blessed because we stingy.
Wow.
Stingy. You get a blessing like, no, that's my blessing. It's my blessing. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, sometimes we take scripture the wrong way, or we take phraseologies the wrong way. What God has for me is for me. No, actually, He gave gifts to men to profit with all. Never mind.
Amen.
With all. Hello, somebody. One more thing. We must realize that great observations are made through right relationships. Great observations are made through right relationships. and thou may be to us instead of eyes. Every relationship is a collection of experiences and ideas. Are y'all hearing me? Telling you how to, not only how to make great observations, but how to value relationships. Every relationship is a collection of experiences and ideas. If I'm in a relationship with anybody, they have a separate set of ideas and separate sets of experiences that can bless my life. But in order to tap into them, I at least got to be on speaking terms.
Come on.
If we're not on speaking terms, there's no way that I can glean from you. So we got to at least be on speaking terms. That makes sense?
Yeah.
We got to at least be on speaking terms so I can at least find out what it is about you. Amen? So it's a collection of experiences, ideas. Observations from others can really broaden our minds. Because sometimes you ever heard a word and you receive that word, you're like, that was a good word.
Yes, sir.
And then you went somewhere else, maybe the next day, maybe the next few days, or maybe you looked at it on like a television program or something, you're like, you know what, I heard that same word the other day, but they didn't say that part. And that's so good.
All right.
And then you go a little bit further and then somebody preach that same text and look at it in an entirely different way. I'm talking about accurate now.
Yeah.
And look at it in an entirely different way. Like anybody ever said, I never saw it like that?
Amen.
But every person that just nod their head and say, I didn't see it like that, that means that you need another set of eyes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I never saw it like that before. You heard the text, you had been there, but you didn't see it like that before. Because you needed somebody who knew how to encamp there. Do you know how to recruit though? Can you open your eyes to see that you ain't got it all together?
All right now.
Can you open your eyes enough to see that I need some help? That I can be on a God-given assignment and still ask for help.
My God. Come on.
Because this is a God-given assignment for Moses to free the people of Israel, is it not?
Yes.
You see Moses going through some super spiritual thing here? He just goes to his brother-in-law. That's why I want to do this text right here. He just goes to his brother-in-law. Look, brother-in-law, I know that God is with us. Matter of fact, I know that God is with us so much that I'm saying whatever he bless us with, we're going to bless you with. I already know that we got about to be blessed. I'm on assignment. I know that I'm going to be blessed. I know that I'm being led by God and I still need another set of eyes.
All right.
Yeah.
What? I said, hold on, let me make sure that you make sure that I'm unequivocally clear. I'm being God led.
Yeah.
On a God assignment.
Yeah.
Doing what he told me to do. And I'm still looking for guidance.
Amen.
Because even though God's sending me to this place,
Yes, sir.
there's some people that have been in this place. You understand what I'm telling you? There's some people that have different experiences in this place. We're so focused on the promise that we're going to miss it because we didn't get help in between. Let me say that one more time. Some of us are going to miss out on some stuff because we didn't get help in between. Because we knew that God got us out of this, and then there was that wilderness experience.
Yeah.
And we get that wilderness experience, and honestly, sometimes we get lost. And sometimes we feel like we by ourselves. Do you know that you can feel by yourself? Even with a crowd of people? And some of us have become isolated because God has put us in leadership positions, and so we say, nobody knows the weight that I carry. That's because you won't let nobody else take some.
All right.
Hey.
It's so much on me. It's so heavy on me. Oh, they pulling on me, Doc. They pulling on you because you won't let somebody else hold a little bit of that weight. I've got to catch everything. No, actually you don't have to catch everything. Why don't you put some eyes on this angle? Put some eyes on, why don't you get some eyes on your 6? Do you understand what I'm telling you? That means on your back. Huh? And truth be told, you need more eyes than on your 6. You need them on your 3 and your 9 as well. That makes sense to anybody? If I got somebody at my 3 and at my 9 and at my 6, that means that I can see everything. But I only see what's in front of me.
Lord God.
But I got experience all around. Let me say that one more time. I can only see what's in front of me, but I got experience all around. Who's building experience all around me?
Come on now. Come on. Jesus.
Because somebody can see behind you and be like, don't go back there. Don't you turn back now.
Yes, sir.
Don't you turn around. You do not want to go back down that road. I'm telling you.
All right now.
I see what's down that road for you. Some people have told you, I already see what's down that road for you. Do not go back there. That's the person that had your six. The person that told you not to go back, that's the person who had your back.
All right. Amen. Jesus.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
It's a collection of ideas, man, and we got to glean from that. We got to understand that I'm connected to commodities. Say I'm connected to commodities. Hello, somebody. And get this, we are not displacing the glory of God by enlisting a guide. You don't listen to nothing else in this message. Please get this point. We are not displacing the glory of God by enlisting a guide. Let me tell you why. Verse 34 says this. And the cloud of the Lord was upon them by day, when they departed him. Wait a minute. That means that I had the glory of God with me and a guide. How more effective would you be if you had the glory and a guide? Let me say it one more time for the church, because I know y'all thought that I went corner because I was telling you about earthly guys. No, watch this. I said you can have the glory and the guide. I don't think that you understand the blessing that just been really released over your life. Say, I can have the glory and the guide. I don't have to do this by myself, because I got to understand that if God has sent me someplace, that there's going to be a glory that's over my life. There's going to be some things that God's going to have. He's going to have that glory sent over me to let me know that when I leave this place, that when I leave the camp, because God's saying I can't stay here, because this is a place of transition. I want to talk to a few people in the audience that realize that this place is not my home. I'm just in a place of transition. I got to get from this point to that point. I got to come from brokenness into the promise. I got to come from despair into the promise. I got to come from being financially in debt to going in the promise of God. But I'm in between right now.
Hallelujah. Jesus.
I'm in between right now. And if I can just reach out to somebody who's probably right there in my backyard and say, you know what? You know how to encamp here. Because this ain't going to be no short journey. We want everything to happen tomorrow, but I'm telling you there's some stuff that you go through that's going to take you some days.
Glory to God. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Say it's going to take some days. It's going to take some days, and I haven't been in a place where I had to deal with something this many days. There's very few experiences that you haven't had, but there's a whole lot of experiences that you haven't had to live in. And there's some people that have lived in the places that you have to transition to. And they said, I'm telling you, I know how to navigate. And truth be told, at first when Moses came to him, he said, no, look, bro, I want to go with my own people, because I want to talk about the whole thing. He said, look, I want to go with my own people. He said, look, because he know how to recruit. Look, man. I know you want to go with your own people, but I'm telling you, if you go ahead and be a blessing to us, we're going to be a blessing to you. Amen? Yes. And they left. That meant that whatever he thought was for him, because there's some people that are going, that want to go another way. They have what you need, but they want to go another way. You got to understand that what God is telling us, what God is telling me in this time, that if you just come with us, everything that God, all your family can come too, by the way. But if you just come on, bless us with what you have, we're going to be able to bless you, and you can be in a promise with us. Amen. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so Moses does this thing. He has, because he had, some of y'all appreciate this, because Hobab probably had committed to another program. All right. Yep. He had committed to another program, but he said, you know what? Mine's better. I'm telling you, this blessing that's on our lives, because we're doing what God has us to do, we can bless you as well, but we need what you have. There's some people that you don't even, because you don't talk to them, because you ain't on speaking terms, that would help you get to the place, that would help you live in the place that you have to live in until you get to the place of promise. There's a place that you must live in before you get to the promise. That place is called the wilderness. Do you have anybody with experience that's been in the wilderness? that's encamped in the wilderness. Am I talking to anybody?
Yes.
There are places, promises to us by God, but a wilderness is in between. We don't have to go it alone. Somebody knows the terrain already.
Yeah.
How do I make great observations? How do I make great observations? I start knowing those that labor amongst me.
Yeah.
I start realizing and valuing the different gifts that people have. I don't get jealous over their gift. I don't get jealous that they know how to do it and I don't. I say, you know what? You have this experience. So instead of me busting my head trying to figure it out, why don't you be eyes for us? How is a leader asking for eyes? I wish I had some leaders that would be like, you know what? I don't see everything. This is a leader asking for eyes. He said, why don't you be for us instead of eyes? That means that I know I got perfectly good vision. The Bible says that none of Moses' strength ever left him. So that means that whatever sight he had at the age of 20, he had that at the age of 120. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So this man could see. It's not that he couldn't see. It's just experiences that he didn't have, and he wasn't prideful about it.
Come on, come on.
Say, there are experiences I don't have, but I'm connected to. How do you make great observations? Realize that great observations are made through right relationships. You would not see things that you saw in the spirit if you did not have a relationship with God. How do I make great observations? I need to be in right relationships. And sometimes God will show you the people you need to connect to. And then sometimes God will just give you the wisdom, common sense. Hello. Well, I shouldn't even say common sense. It's local sense. Because if it was common sense, everybody would have it. It's local sense because it only makes sense to you. Yeah, it's local sense. Y'all can have that one. It's local sense. It's not common sense. If it was common sense, then it would be common. It's not common. It's local. It makes sense to you. You just realize and not be so prideful and say that I'm connected to a commodity. Or I could be connected to a commodity that has more experience than I do. No, he can't handle technology. But he can do this.
Come on, come on, come on.
He can work a garden. And when I get to my place of promise, I don't want to have no sorry looking garden. I want a garden. Right? All right. You know what I'm saying? I know God has placed this great vision of this great temple in my head, but I can't build no temple. But then didn't he give him Bezaleel? Huh? Now there's some stuff that I need you to do in the temple. I'm the leader, God, but you say Aaron is going to be my priest? Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you're connected to a commodity. And some of the people, in the case of Bezaleel, God said, I put my spirit in him to build. So you sit up here trying to put stuff together because you're so proud. I can build it myself, but God put his spirit in that person to build. And God put it in that person to be a God for you. And some of us are sitting out there feeling stranded. Last word. Some of us are out here feeling stranded in the kingdom. Throttling. Not making any progression. Because we won't open our eyes to see that somebody else has the answer. You're not going to get this by yourself. I refuse to teach a doctrine of isolation. You will not get this by yourself. The kingdom is called to be connected. And there's some people that are right in your backyard that have things that will help promote your salvation, your relationship with God. They will help that. That's right. There's some things that will help your business. I got to get it right first because now we teach business before we teach kingdom. But you see what I'm saying? But there's some people that you're connected to that can help you out in your own walk with God. Well, it's not a walk with God, but they can tell you stuff that you've been sitting up there trying to bust your head about, and they already got an answer. But you're like, oh, I'm going to get my stuff. The Holy Ghost going to teach me everything. Okay. But you don't even talk to the Holy Ghost like that, so come on. When you and the Holy Ghost don't speak in terms, I'm just asking for a friend. Anybody learn something? Yeah. Great observations. Great observations are made through right relationships. The first relationship I need to have is with none other than Yeshua HaMashiach, who is Jesus Christ, the risen and ascended Lord. I got to have a relationship with him so I can see things in the spirit realm. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there because the glory is going to be on me. The glory is going to be over my life. But in addition to, because our God is an exponential blesser. Do you understand that? He's an exponential blesser. So not only will he give you glory, but he'll give you grace. Who wouldn't serve a God like this? Let's say, not only would I give you glory, but I give you the grace. You know what grace is? Grace is the divine entity that helps you to do a kingdom function. Grace is the divine entity that gives you the ability to do a kingdom function. Does that make sense to everybody? That's what grace is. So I give you glory, which is going to protect you and lead you. I'm going to give you grace, which is going to help you get over your humanity and your hiccups and your hangups.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you just learn a new one today. I'm going to give you a guide too. I'm going to serve a God like this. But you got to open your eyes. Is anybody eyes open in this place? Give God praise all over here.